everyone, and welcome back to episode 25 of my F1 2016 Force India career mode. Guys, if you have missed out season 1 and the first three rounds of season 2, I will leave them down in the description. I will leave the playlist link. But let's move on then into the Russian Grand Prix here, and obviously we start like we do every weekend with free practice, doing our track acclimatization lap first of all. As I always say, guys, track acclimatization really, I personally, sets the tone for the whole race weekend. But, just coming through the final couple of corners here, are we going to be able to get a purple score? I think it's going to be very, very close here. And are we going to be able to get the purple? No, we don't. We miss out so narrowly there, just by 5 points. It was a huge, huge shame, I won't lie. But still, 30 R&D points. This Force India's covered along quite well, I won't lie. But still, now moving on to our quali simulation lap. Russia's always a track that I found, even on other people's career modes, to have a really, really tough quali sim. But as we can see, we're coming through this second sector and we've got a lot of traffic just ahead of us here. Danny Kvyat gets out of the way quite well. Obviously, it's home Grand Prix this weekend. But still, obviously, just with Roman Grosjean's slipstream here, coming down this back straight, are we just going to be, hopefully he'll move out of the way. But no, he brakes slightly earlier than I thought he would, and we're both just going to go absolutely flying, and straight into the wall we go. And that was the end of practice for both myself and quite clearly Roman Grosjean, as his car just, vaporises there. A bit of a shame, I won't lie, but Grosjean really needs to move out of the way in situations like that. But now moving on to qualifying 2, actually, I decided to skip Q1 because it kind of seems a bit pointless to show Q1 footage really when we know we're just going to get through. I'll show Q1 if you know anything interesting is ever going to happen. But as we can see on Q2, on the set of soft tyres here, hopefully you're going to try and go for the undercut strategy. That's worked well for us so far this season, and we go second, 7 tenths behind Max Verstappen there, which should, I would hope, would be good enough to get into Q3, not like really, really easily, but I thought, it still should be a good time to get into Q3. As we can see, coming to the end of the session there, we do end up in P8, the only driver to get to Q3 on a set of soft tyres there, with Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen getting a 1-2 there, with Hamilton third, my teammate Sergio Perez there, in a very, very strong 4th place there. But drivers that were out with Danny Kvyat, Grosjean, Sainz, Esteban Gutierrez, and I think a couple of Saubers there at the bottom. But still, now moving on to our Q3 run here, as you can see, running it very, very low on the fuel as well. The team want us to pit at the end of this lap based on how little fuel we are running. But as you can see, we're purple now in the middle sector. Obviously, last year here we had our first good result of the season, but we started second on the grid. I'll be very, very happy if we can better that. But still, I have to wait and see as we come through this final sector. Really a sector that I do seem to struggle with on all the F1 games that I've played this track around. Obviously, only F1 2015 and this. But still, coming in towards the last couple of corners, obviously 2 90-degree right-hand corners here, both in second gear, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Second gear there. And coming towards the line, we are going to go pole position there, very, very comfortably as well. So very, very happy with that. And that was an incredibly, incredibly good run from ourselves there. I can't really complain about that. But at the end of the session, we managed to hold on to pole position there by 3 tenths over the Red Bulls. So very, very good qualifying from ourselves there. Lewis Hamilton in 4th place ahead of Vettel, with both Williams comfortably in 6th and 7th there. Good showing for them. Nico Rosberg, the champion currently, down in P8 there. So very, very torrid time for him. Obviously, he's the closest driver to us currently in the driver's standings, as we're just 1 point ahead of him after a couple of really good races in the last couple of rounds. But still, let's move on then into the Russian Grand Prix.
A strong showing from the Australian. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel, and Bottas, Massa, Rosberg, Perez.
So here we are then on the grid, ready for the Russian Grand Prix. It's a one-stop race there, and should hopefully be a fairly comfortable one-stop race. I can imagine a safety car will probably come out of this Grand Prix based on the AI's nature of just, not bothering to go into turn 1, very, very cleanly there. But we've actually got the option. Unfortunately, the game decided, it didn't want to save our soft tyres that we ran in qualifying. This was recorded pre-update, so there are still a few little bugs around the game that just aren't obviously there anymore. But still, we managed to get it onto the set of tyres that we did use in qualifying there, on the soft tyres. Want to keep the realism. But into our formation that we go here. Actually got an incredibly poor start there. So we're going to shift it onto 8th gear, and then probably, we're going to skip the end of the formation lap here. But still, here we are then, on the grid for the Russian Grand Prix. Hopefully, we should be able to take our 3rd win in a row this season so far. But 5 lights, and away we go for the Russian Grand Prix there. The lights really not wanting to get our way, and we've gotten off to an absolutely terrible start as well there. As you can see, we're already dropping down to 4th, 5th place here already, pretty much just trying to stay out of the way of the traffic now, as everyone's soul just passed us down into 6th place already there. And that is an absolutely appalling start here, just trying to make sure, we don't make contact with anyone going into turn 1 there. And that was an absolutely horrendous start, as Kimi Raikkonen tries making contact with his teammate there. And we moved down into P7 there prematurely, but yellow flags are out, now back to green flags, so not really sure what's gone on behind there. Just a little bit of bumping and bashing from the AI behind. But that was an absolutely terrible start, as Kimi Raikkonen now has just gone up or inside. They're doing a very Bottas-esque dive bomb like he did in 2014, but we get the undercut back on him. And we managed to hold on to P6 in the Grand Prix there. But what an absolutely terrible start, a very, very good pole position lap from ourselves there. And just didn't seem to make it work on the launch. I was a bit worried after the formation lap about the launch, but still then onto lap 3. Here we go. We really need to make a comeback now. Slipstream Sebastian Vettel, obviously straight line speed with a Force India. Very, very strong, as we accidentally got the inside of Bottas there. Knocked wheels with him there. That was an incredibly rash dive bomb, as we're going to go off the track trying to give him back the position, but he's just going to get absolutely swamped by his optimistic teammate Felipe Massa and Sebastian Vettel as they go 3 wide through turn 3 there, but we managed to hold on to P4 there behind both Red Bulls, and I think Lewis Hamilton is in the lead of this Grand Prix there, but Massa going for a very, very good overtake there, making a couple of good positions up. But next up now onto lap 6 here, as we can see we've got the DRS on Max Verstappen. He's closing in, I think it's Lewis Hamilton, but I wouldn't be too sure. Yes, it is, as he's closing in right. They're going side by side here, as we run hugely wide, and we made contact with Max Verstappen there, as he's been running hugely wide. And get off the front end, please, as he's pretty much just parked it on the apex there, as Sebastian Vettel closes in on both of us massively. But once again, coming through this chicane here, as you can see, Max Verstappen really just parking the bus there. Not really sure whether he's got any damage or whatnot on the front wheel, but as we can just see by how much Hamilton's pulled away, how much time that's cost us both, as we're going to throw it down the inside into the second to last corner, and we move back up into P3 of the Russian Grand Prix here. So the recovery drive so far has been fairly good so far. It's been all right, as we're just a couple of seconds away from Lewis Hamilton here, and hopefully, soon enough we should be able to catch him. But now onto lap 8 here, as you can see, Max Verstappen has really managed to stay with us, obviously on that set of super soft tyres. He's an incredibly quick driver. He's just got to look round our outside, which will turn into the inside at the end of the long back straight here. And Max Verstappen tries going for the move, but thinks better of it, unlike probably what you do in real life there, so very unrealistic. But coming through the next corner, as you can see, we run wide, and Max Verstappen just picks up the pieces there from my mistake, and he gets caught on my front end once again there, and pretty much just parks it absolutely horrendously again. And that's going to cost us both even more time here, which we really can't afford to lose. But now coming through the final couple of corners here, through these double 90-degree right-handers, obviously we will hopefully have the DRS and the slipstream on him. And for Max Verstappen at this point, he must just be thinking, what's the point in defending this position? As he just knows what's going to happen. We've really built this this Toro Rosso, I don't know why I said Red Bull there. We've really built this I can't get the right words out. We've really built this Force India so well there, as we move back past Max Verstappen there, and we move back up into P3 of the Grand Prix. But now on lap 9 here, as you can see, there's yellow flags out ahead of us, and Daniel Ricciardo is out of the Grand Prix. And what has happened to him there? Hopefully, we should be able to get a good view of it. Has it been an engine failure? I think it most likely has, and yes, it is. And there's Daniel Ricciardo there, parked on the left-hand side of the circuit, and such a huge shame for him. Once again here, getting an engine failure, really crucial for his championship. But that has meant we are a lot closer to Lewis Hamilton. But now, as we can see on lap 11, we've managed to get into the lead of the Grand Prix, as a couple of drivers have made their pit stop. We've got Sergio Perez now right behind us, as Max Verstappen's tyres have really started graining badly. And Sergio, we really didn't want to hold him up at this stage of the Grand Prix. He's on a quicker set of tyres, and he's got a very feisty Red Bull and Max Verstappen right behind him here. So hoping if Perez goes for the move, we're not going to try and defend it from him. as we're just going to let off ever so slightly down the straight, but Perez backs out there, as Verstappen's going to go for the dive bomb on the pair of us there, and Verstappen's going to move up the inside, but we're going to have the inside for the next corner there, running a little bit wide on the exit, and Perez moves back through into P2 there. So all that overtaking, we end up in exactly the same order that we started this little clip in, and that is very good for us, very good for Force India generally here, as we could be on for a 1-2. But now, as we can see, just looking behind, Perez and Verstappen are both coming in for their one and only pit stop of the day. And we're going to set ourselves up to box next lap here. And hopefully, we should be able to hold the lead. 15 laps on a set of soft tyres, though. 12 laps on a set of soft tyres is fairly good for us. And now the safety car has come out. And what's that all about? And that is going to cost us hugely, because that's basically meant Verstappen and my teammate have got a huge undercut on us. But what's happened there? Why is there a safety car out? What's happened to the area behind? Just having a look behind us, seeing if there's like a huge cluster of cars anywhere. And we're going to have a look at Jenson Button here, and he runs hugely wide there, so not really sure what that's all about. But let's just have a look then from the south. But Jenson Button runs hugely wide there. And what happens after him? He gets tagged by the Haas there, not really sure who that was. Hits the wall and pretty much just parks it once again, and his teammate Fernando Alonso is going to go through. Come right round his out, so the Toro Rosso nearly tags him, but the Sauber has tagged him there. The Sauber just not being able to notice Jenson Button there as he's in the wall, and he just skims in there as the button just disappears as everyone starts vaporising there. Not really sure what that's all about, but that has cost us hugely here at the safety car period, because that's meant my teammates have been able to get a huge undercut on us. But now at the end of the lap here, we are going to come in for our pit stop here. We'll move on to, I think, what's probably going to end up being a set of medium tyres here, just basically trying to go to the end of the Grand Prix like Verstappen and Perez will be able to, and hopefully, we should be able to hold the lead at least for a short period. So obviously on a set of medium tyres, at the end of the Grand Prix. So we're actually moving on to a set of super soft tyres. In fact, I was a bit quite surprised by the fact that I've made that strategy call there. You should always check through your footage beforehand. But we're going to be on a set of super soft tyres here for 14 laps, and that's really going to push these tyres to the absolute limit here. But he managed to hold on to the lead quite comfortably there. I was really quite surprised by that. But now, as we can see on lap 13, catching the safety car view here, but the safety car I think will be coming in at the end of this lap here. Safety car, it's telling us to stay behind it. But, we're not going to try and overtake it anyway, because we need to hold on to this lead of the Grand Prix here. Is the safety car going to be coming in at the end of this lap? Yes, it is. And that means it's time for park the bus absolutely completely there. As my key strategy to do in these sort of situations is literally just pile everyone back on top of each other. Because, Perez with that Force India as well will be so strong down the straights here, He should be able to get back past Max Verstappen fairly quickly. But flicking it up to Richtmix here, Verstappen actually giving us a little bit of a nudge there, and that's cost him absolutely hugely. As we literally just got caught right there, as Verstappen's been caught absolutely napping massively. And we've already got, half seconds, nearly a second's worth of lead already as we come through the final corner there. But unfortunately we get on the grass through the final corner, and that's meant Max Verstappen may be able to challenge us coming into the turn 2, the first proper corner of this Russian circuit, as he's got alongside us. But Perez there, like an absolute bullet. We're going to give him the room on the outside there. But coming into turn 1, we've been tagged by, I think that was both of them there, and that is when we're facing backward. And what has gone on there, as we're going to come out in like P13 there, as there's been even more contact than I think Roman Grosjean as Carlos Sainz there, as we've been given a legal overtake on the homeboy Danny Kvyat, and that's when we're going to lose another 3 positions there, as Vettel managed to pick up the piece as well. But we're down into P14 now, moving straight back up the inside of Sebastian Vettel there, and that has been an absolutely horrendous restart for us. We're going to make up 13 positions in 13 laps here. I really don't think we'll be able to do that, and we may even have to pit again. This race instantly looking so strong to so poor, just in like the click of a finger there. That was so poor for ourselves there. Not really sure what happened. I think just Verstappen and Perez didn't really know how to handle turn 1. Like, I know we've seen that at tracks, especially like Australia turn 1 and things, where the AI just can't go 3 wide. But we're going to move straight, try and go past around the outside of Danny Kvyat there as we make contact with the wall, but we get around the outside on our set super soft tyres. Obviously, that is the one thing still looking positive for us, is the fact we are on a quicker set of tyres than the AI at this stage of the Grand Prix. But whether we'll be able to get to the end is a very different question. As now we're seeing at the end of lap 14, right behind Julian Palmer here in P12, going up the inside of him into the first of the double right-handers there. And we move up into P11, and hopefully we should be able to get past Marcus Ericsson very shortly as well. Slipstream, Force India power. I've said it before, and I'll definitely say it again throughout this season. It's gonna be a fun year, I won't lie. Now we've got this Force India to really be a quicker car on the grid. Like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't slow in the first place, but to have it just so it's got a bit of cornering power as well against the AI. As you can see there, we just blitzed past all the AI that don't have a no aero setup. It's actually just hilarious. I feel so sorry for them. But still, now moving on to lap 15, as we can see right behind both Hasses of Roman Grosjean and Esteban Gutierrez. Are we going to be able to get a run on Roman Grosjean as we come down this back straight? Going to look to the inside, but now we're going to move to the outside there, go for a bit of a dummy move, and we move up the inside of Roman Grosjean, nearly going to the back of his teammate there, and we run hugely wide, so he's going to have a look back past us, but he thinks better of it, as he would be on the outside for the next corner there. We move up into P9 of the Russian Grand Prix here. 12 laps to go, 9 positions to make. It's looking fairly strong for us, I won't lie, at this stage. But now coming on to the start of lap 16, trying to maximise our run. We go purple there as well, set at 1 minute 39.6 there. But going past Esteban Gutierrez there, we got yellow flags there, not really sure what that was all about. So, not really sure why we had to abide to those, but still, now we've got the run on Esteban Gutierrez once again there, and we move up the inside into turn 1 there, up into P8, and another very textbook move as the yellow flags have come back out here, and I'm not really sure what this is all about, but as you can see, we've got a huge train of cars there, as Nico Rosberg's obviously got some issues, and we're just going to have to move around the outside of them. We're getting warnings for illegal overtakes, but there's not really a lot we can do there, as I refuse to just leave it behind Nico Rosberg there. But still, that means we move up into P5 of the Grand Prix, right behind our teammate Sergio Perez once again. So you can see just how much time we've been able to catch back up to the AI here. As we've been span around, and less than 3 laps later, we've already caught back up. But now moving on to the end of lap 18, the start of lap 19, as you can see, fuel is looking a little bit marginal as well at this stage. Hopefully we should be able to get back up. But still, now it's Force India versus Force India. Obviously, the DRS and the slipstream in our favour, It should be fairly strong, as we're going to look round the outside of our teammate there. He squeezes us up to the wall, but we managed to get round the outside of our teammate there, of Sergio Perez, and we move back up into P4 of the Russian Grand Prix there. So this recovery drive so far looking very strong for ourselves. But let's move on then, onto the next clip. And as you can see, now on lap 24, we're right behind Valtteri Bottas here. I can still smell a podium. A podium is still on the cards here, as we've got the slipstream once again. And are we going to be able to make a move past Valtteri Bottas here? We're going to look up the inside into turn 1, park it pretty much by the side of him there. And we run a little bit wide through the corner there, but we hold the position, and we move back up into P3 of the Russian Grand Prix there. And now moving on to the final corners of the Grand Prix here. We weren't able to catch up Hamilton and Max Verstappen there in the end, which was a bit unfortunate, I won't lie. But still, to have that sort of recovery drive, to have that from spinning around at the safety car restart, to being able to come back, to come in 3rd place there, is a very happy result for myself, and I really can't complain about that. Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix though, guys, ahead of Lewis Hamilton and myself. Nico Rosberg there, though, I'm not really sure what's happened to him overall, but that is hopefully going to mean, we're going to put some points over him in the championship. So we should have a comfortable lead in the championship, guys. But if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are new around here. And I will see you guys in the next episode of my F1 2016 Force India career mode. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.